Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the Seek, Gather and Create Challenge week 3. I had to think then what week we were on. I'm sitting here with me ginger chai latte. Just have a quick slurp of that. And my items. So this week we had to find at the sea. So I have got an image here of a seaside family enjoying a day at the seaside. I've also got some sea glass and some sea pottery that I found there. So I'm not quite sure how or if I'm going to be able to incorporate them, we'll see. I also needed something vintage. So I pulled out this vintage lace here, which I think I probably have, it's gone through the dye, so it's been dyed. So I've brought that, a ticket, so I've got a couple of old vintage tickets here, something rusty, which I have here. This is a little rusty, you can see it's quite rusty little safety pin, and a face, which I'm just gonna take as this face here, this lovely lady who's smiling happily on the beach. Now, as per usual, I have no idea how I'm going to start or what I'm going to do, so we're just going to have a play and see what happens. So I just better quickly let you all guys know what I mean by the Seek, Gather and Create challenge. This is a challenge that I run over on Instagram with Tina, Mel, Laura and Jana, and you'll find their links down below. And every Sunday, this time for 5 weeks, we post up a scavenger hunt. So 5 things to find, and you can use them in whatever way you would like to create a piece of artwork. You can post up your creations using the hashtag #SeekGatherCreate, and there's a chance to win some prizes as well. I'll put all the details below. I'm going to work in this journal today. This is just a quick little journal that I put together out of some scraps and things, so it's quite a good shape. I quite like this shape, so we're going to work in here today, I think. I'm just pinning down the pages a little bit to help me. Okay, so how on earth are we going to start? How are we going to start? Well, I am going to grab my gesso. Let me just put a little bit of a scrap under there, because I only want to go on to this this little piece on here, like that. Okay, let's grab a paintbrush, and I'm just going to start by getting some gesso down today to give us a good base to work on. This is an old, this is a flower that's been eco-dyed. Maybe I don't want to hide that entirely. We'll see, it might end up getting hidden, it might not. Already got a little bit of texture from some stitching from the previous page on here. Okay, so there we go, there's some gesso. I'll just quickly dry that. Back, and I pulled out a red high flow acrylic paint, and I'm gonna, I know this looks quite drastic, but I'm gonna do some red, rough red stripes, because that kind of makes me think of the seaside, a sort of oldie fashioned you know, red striped bathing suit type look. So boom, look at that. It's quite a drastic, I don't ever use red normally, so that feels quite drastic to me. We'll see how that dries. So a quick dry, that's how that's looking. Now I think I've got quite a lot of this sort of vintage lace, so I'm going to pull off or chop up bits and actually put this in as some collage into the background as well. Tone down some of that red as well. I like the idea of the red, sort of as that impression of that old kind of beachy thing, but I don't want it so in your face. So we're going to stick some of this down as collage and see how that looks. I'm working in a very quiet house today. My husband's downstairs working, but my youngest is at scout camp and my eldest is at my sister's babysitting her kids, cousins. So it's child free and it's very strange. The house is so quiet and yeah, miss them. Oh, I do miss them. However, Nick, my husband, and I had a lovely, lovely day out yesterday. He took the day off and we went canoeing down the city canal, so quite an urban-y type setting, but really, really interesting. I really enjoyed it. We had a good old sort of paddle down and stopped for a picnic, and then stopped and had a quick drink when we got back to the little quayside. Yeah, it was a really, really lovely day. Really enjoyed it. Okay, got a bit of that lace down in chunks, and now I'm going to gesso over the top of it. So I want that texture of it with the stripes in the background. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm totally just doing what comes to mind and nothing is planned, other than obviously I've picked the objects that I want to use. Who knows how it's going to turn out. Quite a bit of the gesso just to soak into the fabric, but quite liking the texture that's coming through. So that flower's just gonna go, just doesn't work with it, so bye bye eco dyed flower. I think I'm going to go over thin. Oh, that's blending. Oh well. That bit of red wasn't quite dry, so it's blended in the background. I was saying I was just going to go over the red stripes just with a light coating of gesso so that I'm pushing them into the background. Okay, this is interesting so far. Okay, another dry. Okay, I'm liking the texture. I'm not sure about it yet. We'll see how we go. I'm gonna add some different colours in here now. A bit of my coffee. I've pushed those stripes back. I don't know. In my head I was thinking seaside rock, you know, old-fashioned bathing suits, all the sort of red and white stripes of the you know, like puppet theatres, what are they called? You know, Punch and Judy shows and things like that. I guess because it mentioned vintage, so I'm thinking vintage seaside. I don't know. There's some coffee. Now let's add in a little bit of, let's go blue. We'll go blue acrylic. This is a Prussian blue, which is my favourite. So I think we need blue for the seaside in there somewhere. So water that down and blend it in with the coffee here. I like the texture that vintage lace is doing, but we're not there yet. Just not quite just not quite. I'm not liking it yet, though, should we say that? What should we add next? Maybe I'll add the image in. And we'll see how that looks. Okay, so I'm thinking that it's going to go in here. I might have to trim it down a touch. How about doing it as, let's do it as a parcel trait transfer. Let me just move this to one side to dry. I'm going to grab my parcel tape. Find the end. Just sticking that straight down. Ooh. It's just tore on me. Overlap it. Oh, got some bubbles in there as well. Oh wow. It's not the best, but we'll make it work. I'm just going to grab my spoon. It's just a spoon that I keep to the side just for this purpose, and give it a good old burnish. Make sure that it's all well stuck into the glue. You especially need to make sure that that face is visible, because that's my face. I love this image of the old beach huts and the family having a great old time. Okay. Turn that over and give it a spray down. Quite saturated. And then I'm going to rub off that pulp from the back. Hopefully get a clear image. Fingers crossed. Ah, some of it's vanishing. It's coming. Just don't want to make sure that I don't take it too much off so that it comes back down to nothing and I lose that image because I don't have another one. Just just using a bit of tissue to wipe off the little excess bits of paper. And let's see. I think that's looking okay. I lost a little bit, but not too much. Not too much. So we'll see how that looks on the page. So I'm thinking of placing it there. It's wet. So that they kind of get the red coming through from underneath. Now I'm not trimming it. Maybe I'll trim it a little bit. No, I will. I'll trim it down and hopefully fit, because then I've got less of that shininess. Although I'm going to add a layer of the matte medium on the top to take away the shininess of the tape. Okay, stick that down. I'm just using Fabri-Tac, but it's running out. Stick that down, and then I'm going to put a bit of matte medium over the top. Oh, excuse me. Just having another slip. Tea. Bit of matte medium over the top to take off the shine. Dry clear. I'm just using it to help stick down some of those edges as well. Okay. Alright, so we've got an image on there, a little bit of texture. How are we going to place in the tickets and the other bits and bobs? Let's see now. Do I just create a little bundle? Do I want the sea glass? No. I prefer the sea pottery, I think. Maybe another little tiddly bit of this. Hanging over the edge there with the rusty paperclip safety pin. Oops, there's rust going everywhere. Come on, pen. Okay. Ooh. We're getting somewhere, I think. Let's see. Waiting for the glue again. There we go. Now I don't know how well this is going to stick. I'm going to put quite a bit of glue on it and see if it will, if I can get it to stick and stay. I think I might stitch on the other bit. Do I want the other one there? Yeah, why not? Just hanging over the edge. Okay, definitely need, I'm going to put that on in a minute. I think I definitely need a bit more white. So I'm going to add some more gesso to try and blend these things in together. Okay, I'm going to dry that. see what it looks like. So I'll just take this off so you can see it a bit clearer now. Whoops. This is how it's looking at the moment. Okay. I'm not in love with it, I have to say. Yeah, I'm not, but we'll see what we can, if we can improve it in some way. I've got some of this reddish thread and I'm going to use this to stitch on this bit with the rusty safety pin. Oops, split it. Come on, needle. Oh, just not going well for me today. Can't even thread my needle now. There we go, finally got it. So I'm going to stitch that onto here. Just going to do a quick little cross stitch, I think, on there. Ah, there we go. I mean, it means I've got a little bit on the page, the last page, but that's okay. Let's tie that off. Looks like I've got a couple of red dots on there now. Okay. Quite like this little bit, and this is stuck all right. But the rest, yeah, not loving it. I think I'm going to add some detailed stitching to the edge of this image. Oh, I don't know if I can, it's just going to tear. Don't think I can. What's annoying? Let's see. Maybe if I just take another little piece of paper, fabric. Just going to put some stitches into this. Sort of mirroring-ish the red stripes with these stitches. Okay. Stick that on there. This is very textured, this page now. Okay. How can we make this better? I think I'm gonna bring out these stripes back, maybe. I'll put thinner ones in, perhaps, over the top. Like rock. So sometimes things just don't go your way, but you can keep working, keep going, keep playing, see what happens. I think I'm struggling because I don't like the colours. And that image is not the best. What do you think? Not keen. Let me have a think. If in doubt, you know, go back to gesso. I should have that as my little motto. So I don't like the colours, so I'm going to take some of those out. Well, I'm still very unsure about this one. I've got the elements, I've got something seaside, so I have got sea pottery, I've got a ticket, two, something vintage, which is the lace here, something rusty, which is the paper, safety pin, and then a face, or a couple of faces in there, showing through. But there's just something not working about it for me. I'm going to have a think, I think, and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've gone away and I've dug into more of my stuff, my stash, and I found these little dinky things which are quite cute, these little stickers, seasidey stickers. And I also went into my vintage pictures, so I decided I'm not very happy with how that's turned out. And so I have got various different ones here out of my little stash of people at the seaside. So I'm going to decide which one of those I'm going to use instead. And what I'm going to do is just cut out this image that I don't like. I'll just take off that. So bye bye to this image. Just was not working for me. Quite like those little bits left over from it from just creating the texture. So then it's just playing around with what works better, and I think I just needed to cover up more of the background as well. So let's have a little audition. So that's quite sweet. I quite like her, and the tone of the photograph goes quite nicely with that. I love that image, but you can't see her face very clearly. And one of the 5 items was face as well. That one's quite sweet as well. I think it's between that one and that one. And I wish you guys could answer me and tell me which one works. And which one doesn't. I'm thinking this one. This one here. Now, do I want this back here? Or is that too much? Perhaps I want that like over here somewhere. Regardless, let's stick this one down. And maybe instead of the sea thingy we have these. I like the little lighthouse. And what else should we put in there? The anchor or the little sailboat? I like the sailboat. I quite like the whale as well. Let's go for the sailboat. We have them as our sea by the sea rather than, I mean they're at the sea as well, aren't they? So it all kind of goes together. I like the image better yeah, loads better with the image, and I really like these two, but it's just finishing off the overall look of it. I'm having a real struggle with this one today. There's just a lot of texture, and I'm not liking the red because I just so struggle with red. I really do. I shouldn't have done that. It was in my head as a good idea, but in reality I should know that I just should avoid red really. I'm going to add some collagey bits, I think, just to hide a bit of that texture. Sticking it down to the gesso. Just keep layering, keep going. Okay, let's put a little bit of the matte medium just over the top of that collage I've just put down, just to make sure it seals it onto the page. I'm liking that better. I think it was just too much. There was just too much going on. It just kind of feels like I need some rest space going on in this one, and I went too heavy on the texture, as well as not enjoying using the red. I just feel like, yeah, I just stuck too much of that texture down, that base. And I need some quiet space on this page. So having little bits poking out, but not having so much of it on show. So this is just masking tape to, yeah, try and cover up some of that and to get a little bit of a flatter surface. Let's see what happens when I'm dealing with a disastrous page that just won't go my way. But I mean, that's what this Seek, Gather and Create challenge is all about, isn't it? It's about challenging ourselves and using items and things which you wouldn't normally. So it's all good. It's all good, and we're going to make it work. We are going to make it work. Absolutely right. A bit of masking tape does not want to stick down. Excuse my phone beeping. Okay. That. See? Oh gosh. I needed that white space. I needed that restful bit. And painting over the texture wasn't doing it because there was still, you could still see the texture. I needed that bit of calm. I feel a bit better now. I'm gonna dry that. Just back in a sec. I see. Oh, I'm liking that so much better. That calm bit in the middle, right? Whew. Panic over. Now I've just got a tiny bit of metallic-y blue. Okay, just the tiniest little bit that I'm going to bring in places, just a tiny. I don't want too much colour now. I've gone and found that nice white bit. Okay, sorry, gone quiet, concentrating. Don't want to put too much on. Oops, stuck to everything. Right. Whew, okay, nearly there I think now. I'm just gonna get a pen and just doodle around these. Oh, that's a bit wet paint, that's gonna ruin the pen. I'll do that in a minute. Words maybe? Yeah? What do you think? Just a quick little bit of wording. Don't know what we're gonna find. I'm just grabbing my little book here. Maybe not that book. Let's go for the large textbook. This one here. I'm just going to randomly flick until I see something that works for me. Okay, let's see. Just found the words at a picnic. Maybe. Maybe. I think I'm just going to flick through and I'll be back in a minute. So I found some words and I've stuck them on, and it says a blighty picnic, just wonderful. And that I am going to say is done. I really struggled with this one, as you can tell. Not 100% with how it looks now, but it's much better. It's much better. I much prefer the image, and I like this white space, and I do like how this sort of bundle works together with the rusty safety pin, the vintage lace and the ticket, so I think that works, and it's got all the elements that it needs. So yeah, I'm calling that one done. I hope you've enjoyed watching me struggle today. Join me next time for week number 4. Take care. Bye.